of us. So I think he's moving and slowly going towards Red Dam. That's where I think he's going now. I do apologize if I don't answer any questions. I currently cannot hear a thing. We've got no comms with final control, so we're trying to see what's going on. Rusty has just decided it doesn't feel like working this afternoon, and so all of a sudden in the last 1 second he's now just gone quiet. Now the interesting thing is that where we are currently is there's a group of impala that are maybe, I would say, 30 meters from here, because when I came down this road I saw these impalas and they were just in the thicket in front of where Tingana is now. So you can see, look, he's busy stalking, so he's going into stalking mode and he's getting himself nice and low, and he's in a great position because the wind is blowing towards him, and the fact of the matter is that the grass is really long, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he goes. Now I'm going to try just keep forward. I don't want to ruin the hunt for him. But look at that, there he is on his tummy. So let's just see if we can get in here. So there we go, look at his body posture is completely different now. He's gone flat, his ears are quite low to the ground, and he's watching what's going on and just making sure that he can see the impalas and staying very, very still, because he doesn't want to move too much and the impalas then spot him. But what's nice for him is that he's got the grass and he's got the trees in front of him that is going to be breaking up his outline and making it very, very difficult for anybody to be able to see him. So it's going to be an interesting little sort of period and see whether or not he can actually get any closer. The problem is that if those impalas move in any way... there we go. Welcome back, Kirsty. So Kirsty's back in my ear now, so I can actually hear final control again, which is lovely. So now I can hear all of your questions. Now remember, if you do have any questions and you are a new viewer and you want to know things about the leopard, you've already seen Mvula, the other big male that we see, and now this is Tingana, you can send your questions through to #SafariLive. But look at the way he's so interested. And look at how he's putting his paws very delicately. And like I said, the impalas are right here. They're not far at all. We can't see them from where we are, but I know when I came past that they were sitting just off the road here. So they're not very, very far at all. And look at his posture. You can see those floating collarbones now as the whole body is dropping low down, so he can get his profile as low as possible. And there's that collarbone sticking right up, so they have this ability to be able to go right down on their tummy, yet their legs can still move because their collarbone is not attached like ours is. And it's a very, very different sort of anatomical structure than what we've got as humans. And there he's just disappearing behind the tree. Now I'm not going to move because unfortunately he is very, very close to these impalas, and like I say, we don't want to disrupt his hunt, and I don't want him to be in any sort of compromised position, and we don't want to chase the impalas or give the leopard away. So we're trying to give it as a fair hunt as possible, and I'm hoping that he's going to kind of sneak forward, and we'll then hear, if he starts to chase, you'll hear the galloping of hooves, or alternatively, if he gets spotted before he can chase, you're going to hear the snorting of these impalas, and it's going to be a very sort of vocal affair. From here, though, if he doesn't manage to catch anything, I'm pretty sure he's going to go to Red Dam, which is not too far away, and maybe he'll go lie there and have a drink for us, which will be great. Now, I can't see him anymore. Wait, there he goes. So he's just jogging now. You can see the impalas have seen him, so I think he was trying to get into a point where he could just reposition, but the impalas saw him. So you can hear that snorting sound, which is like what we heard earlier when we were looking at those impalas and they all exploded out of the bush and ran away. It's the exact same sound, and it's because they've now spotted the leopard and they're telling everybody, we've seen this leopard, be careful, there's a predator here, and now he's going to carry on. But what we're going to do is just try and follow him. Ultimately, we do have some of the other vehicles that are with us, and these are some of the commercial vehicles because we are in an area where we do have commercial properties, and they have guests that come from all over the world. Susie, you're wondering how often they hunt a day. Well, Susie, it depends on their sort of success rates, but if they're successful, then generally it'll just be once for sometimes even as much as a week-long period. So here he's calling. That's him just expressing his disdain at these impalas shouting at him. But other than that, if they were to be hunting, it's not always every day. You sometimes find that leopards will go on a territorial patrol and they'll spend sort of 2-3 days patrolling their territory and actually not hunt at all. Are you going to call for us again? Oh, his head is itchy. But generally, I mean, I've seen a female leopard once in a day in this time that I followed her, which is about 4 hours. She must have hunted, I reckon it was probably about 9-10 times in that space that we followed her through the period of the day. And so how many times she hunted outside of that, I'm not quite sure. You must remember that a leopard success rate is not very high. Most of the cats out here, while they are incredibly efficient and they can have all the skills to be able to do it, the prey items are also very aware of their surroundings. They know what's going on. They know that there is a leopard and predators out here, and their senses. So that's him just territorially vocalizing to tell everybody that this is his area, his territory, and that you must stay out of it. So that's why he's making that noise. He's also just telling the impalas that I've heard you shout at me. So here we go, he's going straight to Red Dam. So Reese, I think it was Reese, sorry, the comms are not very good, so Reese, if I get your name wrong, I do apologize. But I think you asked what the size difference is between Tingana and Mvula. Well, Tingana is definitely a lot taller than what Mvula is. Mvula is not the tallest leopard, but he is quite sort of squat. And in his heyday, when Mvula was younger, he was a very broad-chested animal. He had a very broad sort of chest area, big head, and that's what his kind of traits was, and he was a very sort of tough-looking leopard. Tingana is slightly taller in the shoulders, but I don't think he's nearly as broad around the shoulder area from sort of the chest depth. I just want to see where he's going to go from here, because I don't want to cut him off. But I'm pretty sure you can see this is the dam wall in front of us, and there he's doing a bit of scent marking, so he's just busy scraping his back legs and urinating, and then hopefully he's going to go over the dam wall for us and pose beautifully on the top of the dam wall. So let's just go around and position ourselves. It might just be a little bit that we have to wait for him to pop up, but I'm pretty sure he is going to come this way. You can see that there's a little path that goes up onto the dam wall, so we should be in perfect place to see him, and we're going to get him at eye level, which is always the most amazing thing. When you get a leopard sitting staring at you at eye level, it is quite something. Now, there is also a hippo here. Hello, hippo. It's all happening now. We've gone from very little, very quiet, sedate afternoon to everything happening all at once. Now, there's Tingana. He's just popping up in the most beautiful backlit conditions. Look at all the clouds and the sun setting in the background, and there he comes over the dam wall. Is that not spectacular? Absolutely amazing. But like I was saying, so Mvula is actually slightly smaller than Tingana. Tingana is a little bit bigger, and I reckon Tingana and Mvula might have a little run-in tonight, because where Mvula is on one of Tingana's territorial marches, and from here he often goes straight into Djuma, and he goes and checks exactly where Mvula is. So I think Mvula's got a bit of a problem. He might have to be a bit careful tonight and hope that Tingana doesn't walk down that road, because otherwise he's going to be found. And being that Tingana is the territorial male at the moment and much bigger than what he is, and a little bit younger, he will chase Mvula away, and we'll end up with a sort of situation where Mvula is going to run. So hopefully Mvula will be clever enough just to stay quiet, and hopefully the hyenas don't make too much noise and Tingana then doesn't find him. But look at his tummy. You can see he's lots of skin there that's just flapping. So Tingana is probably quite hungry. I would imagine he is looking for food. We saw him now stalking those impalas, so I'm sure if he finds food, he is definitely going to try hunt them. Isn't that amazing? Like I say, it's just something special about being at the same sort of level as a leopard, and looking into their eyes from their eye level is just absolutely spectacular. And look at that coat. Is that coat not amazing? You are being thoroughly spoilt. Now, I wouldn't have expected him to be so vocal at this time of the day. Generally, leopards aren't that vocal until sort of early evening. That's when you start to hear them a little bit more, but he's definitely got quite a bit of sort of vocal range going at the moment. Now, the problem is where he's going is quite difficult to find him, again, because we can't cross this water hole. We used to be able to drive straight across, but now it's all been flooded, so what we're going to have to do is go round, and going round is not going to be easy to find him again. The nice thing, though, is that he is making a lot of noise, so we can find him through his call. But isn't that amazing? Look at that camouflage as he disappears. Absolutely incredible. Right, so from one amazing male leopard who's absolutely spoilt us, let's go back to Ali and see what another amazing male is doing on her side. We're still with Tingana, and as you can see, he's walked into a big bull elephant. So we've had the most amazing sighting of him being followed by a bull elephant. Everywhere Tingana goes, this bull seems to follow him around. It's been an absolutely incredible thing to witness, and neither of them seems to be too fussed about the other. At one point we had them walking like a pride of lions down the road, and there was this sort of elephant and then Tingana behind him. It was absolutely incredible. So now I'm trying to just see if I can get in front here so we can show you, because we're having to do a little bit of a leapfrogging session with the other guides because we're all in the sighting together. So it's going to be really quite interesting. If I can find the two of them together again, it's going to be a very special little picture. So there we go. We've got elephant in the front, leopard at the back, and isn't that incredible? Look, there you go. How awesome is that? So for those of you that like to take screenshots, there we go. That's an incredible screenshot. It's not one you're going to get every day of a leopard in front or behind, like I say, following a big bull elephant. So we're just going to quickly try and sneak through so that we can get out of the way of the others. But isn't this amazing? It's been such an incredible afternoon. I'm just, like I say, trying to get out the way of the others so that they can all see as well. But there we go. There's the elephant bum and Tingana walking straight into his elephant bull. Isn't that amazing? So there's the screenshot right there. For those of you that are interested in taking the screenshots, that is absolutely awesome. Very, very cool. And you can see Tingana's just stopping and watching what's going on. Now, wouldn't it be amazing? Look, he's approaching the elephant. I wonder if the elephant's going to see him. No, he's decided to lie down and just watch. So he's going to be like us and just watch the beauty of the elephant moving off into the bush. Absolutely amazing. We are being thoroughly spoiled by male leopards this afternoon. So Ali's got Mvula, and I believe he's been feeding. And us with Tingana now has been an absolutely incredible display from them. And you can see now this elephant's just moving off into the distance, and I think Tingana's just going to sit and wait it out. He's going to wait for the elephant to move off before he then starts and carries on going on his territorial patrol. And look at how he blends into that now dry grass. You can see the grass has changed colour completely. It's no longer that bright green that we were having about 2 weeks ago. It's now become a more straw coloured, and it's perfect for a leopard. If that male just lay absolutely flat in the grass, it would be almost impossible to see him any further, and we would really, really struggle with being able to actually spot him. So his camouflage works perfectly for this kind of environment and this drier grass. Perfect, perfect, perfect place for a leopard to be moving around. And you can imagine if there was some prey animals here, if he starts moving towards that thicket and just lies down in this grass, it's going to be impossible with that shady dark light for us to actually see him. Really, really pretty just to see him in that dry grass. Now he's going to yawn, so I'm pretty sure he's going to stand up and carry on moving. Now that Ellie started to move off a little bit, I think he's probably going to carry on with his patrol as well. Isn't that amazing? And he's got a few cuts and scrapes on his head now. I know he's had a few run-ins. I know that he had a bit of a fight with Quarantine the other day on Torchwood, and he's also had a fight with Djuma around Torchwood area as well. So he's been in the thick of it, and now we've got Djuma to the north of him and Mvula right in the heart of his territory. So this boy is going to have to start doing a lot more patrolling and a lot more scent marking if he wants to keep all these other males at bay. There we go. Let's just lay down again. I think he's decided that this elephant hasn't moved far enough, so he's going to just wait it out a little bit longer. Either that or he just wants to show us his good side, and that's why he's turned around to face us. But isn't this amazing? Now he could do with a meal. It seems like he's been doing a lot of sort of patrolling lately, and in the last few days he's covered an incredible amount of distance from the sort of reports of where his tracks have been. I know Brent last night said he heard him around Chitwa, so he's moved quite a long way to get to where he is now, which means that when he's moving these big sort of territorial loops that he does, he's going to be burning quite a bit of energy and utilizing all the reserves that he has. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to be hungry and he's going to be looking for food. Now if he manages to get anywhere near where Mvula is with that carcass, which is actually not too far from where we are now, if he cuts straight in an easterly direction, he's going to be able to walk into Mvula there, and I'm pretty sure he'll steal that from him. So maybe that's where he's going to get his next little bit of nutrients from. But absolutely amazing. What an incredible afternoon. So, Ruby, you're asking whether he could be using the elephant to mask his smell. Well, I don't think so. So he's not too concerned about the elephant. The elephant is just a curiosity for him. So all he's doing is he's watching the elephant because he's interested in it, and it's something different. And earlier we saw him now walking behind the elephant, but earlier he was actually walking in front of the elephant. So it's more just a curiosity thing. The elephant is not going to hide his smell in any way. They smell completely different, and they actually didn't walk on the exact same path. They kind of sort of zigzagged between each other. So I would imagine that that's not going to play any role whatsoever. What you will see with male leopards where they use another animal to mask their scent is actually they'll use the dung. So you'll often find a male leopard or a female leopard rolling in buffalo dung in particular, and that buffalo dung allows them to just get the scent of buffalo on them rather than the cat scent, and that then means that they can move around a little bit more undetected than they would have been otherwise. So you can see he keeps moving, so a lot of the vehicles are just repositioning so they can actually see him, because he keeps facing the different ways. But for us, we're lucky. He seems to keep giving us a nice look over his shoulder, which is quite spectacular. There we go. So one of the vehicles is just making space for some of the others, which we're going to probably have to do in the next little bit as well. Unfortunately, there's lots of people that want to come see Mvula, and now that there's an elephant, bye Ryan! So just saying hello to Ryan, and like I say, unfortunately we're going to probably have to move on a little bit because there are lots of others that want to see him. So we're going to carry on, and while we do that, let's go back to Ali, who's got another male leopard of her own, and really just keep the male leopard theme running.